Hey everyone, welcome. It's about 1 minute before 5 o'clock in Rotterdam, and we're going to be meditating together for the next 5 days. So we're going to start nice and simple today and build up over time through the days. But in some ways, maybe the first day might be the most tricky, might be the most difficult. And what I hope is that you'll find it easier every day through the cycle of 5. Every day is going to be a little bit different. And we're going to be going through a couple different processes. And if anything that I offer in these meditations holds you somehow and helps you, then you can always return to that in any meditation that you ever do. And so I just want to welcome everyone. We're going to wait a few minutes just to see if anyone else is joining. So we're just going to take our time and be patient today. All you need for this practice is yourself. You don't need any fancy equipment or any fancy sports outfit. You can do this any place, maybe not driving or operating heavy machinery, but other than that, just any place where you want to sit down. If you find sitting down really uncomfortable, of course, you could even lie down, but that changes the way you meditate a little bit. So it's always best to stay seated if that's physically comfortable for you. I hope everyone's doing really well today. It's raining here in Rotterdam. It's been the first rainy day in about 5 weeks, so. Okay, let's begin. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Liz. We're in Rotterdam here at Yogaground at our studios at Weerhaven, and I want to welcome you to meditation. I'm going to speak for the first few minutes just about ways to be comfortable in the body and comfortable in your meditation. And then we're going to go through approximately a 12-minute guided meditation. There will be some silence at the end, but today I'm going to be speaking for, I think, quite a bit of it, but we'll see how we get on. I want to talk a little bit about meditation and the different schools of meditation. I've studied a couple different lineages of meditation, and I have friends who found one way to meditate, and they do it every day, and they've done it every day for years, decades sometimes. And I've found that I've dipped into different schools of meditations and dipped back out again. And so in teaching this meditation, I'm going to teach you just how I practice. So this isn't a particular dogma. It's not from a particular school of meditation. It's simply the way I meditate, which is really has the same goal as all meditations, which is, we have our bodies, we have our energy, and we have our minds. But deeper than that, deeper than all of that is this place of refuge deep inside of us. And some people might call that the soul, but some people might just call that an inner quiet or a place of refuge, an anchor within us. And that's really the purpose of meditation. It's not necessarily to quiet the mind or to completely still the body, although that might happen. But what we're really doing in meditation is just being with what is. And what we might find when we truly are with ourselves is that we go into this deeper part of ourselves that is just maybe a little bit more quiet or a little bit more calm than our more outer layers. And so this is the place of refuge that we seek in meditation. I'm going to be leading you through a few visualizations today in your meditation. So the first thing I'd like us to do is find a comfortable seat. You'll see the way I'm sitting is in a version of Sukhasana or Siddhasana, and this is just the way that I like to sit. You don't have to sit this way. You could be seated in a bit more of an easier pose with the shins crossed. Some people prefer to sit more like this. This depends on your hip joints, on your feet, on your knees. This might be more comfortable. You could sit up on so many pillows that you're practically standing. That's okay. And of course, you could also sit in a chair. So there are no rules. There are no rules with this meditation. You make your body physically comfortable. You get into a position where you think, okay, I could sit like this for 12 minutes. So let's all take a moment just to find a comfortable seat. And, you can have a little bit of movement. If you've been sitting at a desk all day, you might just want to get the shoulders moving, get the chest open, anything that you need to be more comfortable. And I'm going to ask you a question. So my question is, what did you have for breakfast 2 days ago? And have you thought of the answer? What did you have for breakfast 2 days ago? Now, do you notice when you think of the answer, you look up? You think, oh, what did I have for breakfast? And you look up. When the mind is active, we look up. And so in meditation, we look down. So I'd like you to take a moment here to find a long spine and a comfortable seat, and then let the eyeballs soften and just look down. Now take a breath. And how does that feel? Just to look down and take another breath. That's as complicated as it needs to be. That is already meditation. That little moment of going inside. I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. I'm going to get you to take one of your fingers and to touch the very top of your head. And now lift up the top of your head into your finger and press down onto the top of the head with the finger. Now, can you feel your pelvic floor? That's the space between the sitting bones. And then can you imagine a line that runs from the pelvic floor up through the very center of the body, all the way up to touch the crown of the head at your finger? Now, could you imagine that being an actual physical thing in your body, this line that runs from the crown of your head where you're pressing down to the pelvic floor? And can you feel that? How does that feel? We're going to be using this core line, this plumb line through the body in our meditation today. So let's lower the hand down. You might bring your hands into your lap or the hands on the legs, anything that feels good. Look down. Look down. Notice the breath. Now, you might choose to keep the eyes looking down in this meditation, or it's possible that you will instead choose to close the eyes. And that depends on what feels better for you. And the first thing we're going to do is think about our bodies. So how does your body feel right now? Think about your legs. And are you holding any tension in the legs? Could you let the legs just spread and relax? And the feet are relaxed, and the toes, and the knees, and the thighs are soft. If you're someone who practices yoga, you might know the pose Shavasana, or final relaxation. Could your legs be that comfortable right now? And then think of that pelvic floor and think of your bum. And can you let your bum just spread and drop so that you really become aware that you are sitting? Sitting bones heavy, thigh bones heavy, and the skin is soft. Relax the lower belly. Relax the rib cage and the lungs. And let your elbows become heavy. The fingers become soft. The shoulder blades drop heavy down the back. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth and lands flat and wide inside the mouth. The cheeks are soft, the eyes are soft, and you can feel your eyelids. Let the forehead be smooth. Let the forehead be smooth. And then just take a moment to notice any sounds you hear in the room. And you might notice that all those sounds are all created by various movements. And here we are sitting in this world of movement, and yet there is something inside us that is still, even in this world of movement. In this world of sound, there is something quiet within us. Allow your bones to rest. Can you feel yourself truly sit on your seat? And then find a long spine so that the crown of the head, the top of your head that you just had your finger against, lifts up. But this is without effort. So can we hold ourselves in awareness here of a long spine, but without tension, without tension. And then notice the breath. Notice how it feels to breathe in and how it feels to breathe out. Where do you feel the breath the most in your body? There is no wrong answer. And allow the breath just to come in, just almost on its own. So we're not doing anything fancy with the breath. So when you breathe in, you're just taking in that air that's already right next to the nose anyways. And when we breathe out, it's just a drop, a release of anything we don't need. Soften the belly, and can you feel the breath in the belly? There's this movement of the breath. And some breaths might be small, some breaths big. Some breaths fast and some breaths slow, and we welcome in all those breaths. And then please draw your mind down to your pelvic floor. And you might remember that rod, that line of energy from the pelvic floor all the way up to the top of the head. We're going to travel up that line. So this isn't quite the spine. This is something a little deeper, deeper within us. So just think about your pelvic floor right now. How does it feel to be there with your mind? Pelvic floor. And then the very center of the lowest belly, so the center of the lower belly. The center of the diaphragm, or the center of the bottom ribs. The center of the chest, the center of the heart space. The center of the throat. And if you think about the point between the eyebrows, then draw your awareness back to the very center of the brain. And then all the way up to the crown of the head where you just had your finger a few minutes ago. Then let's travel back down from the crown of the head to the center of the brain, center of the throat, center of the heart. Center of the solar plexus or diaphragm, center of the lower belly, and back down to the pelvic floor. Now in your own time, please travel up and down that long line of energy where you breathe in from the very base, from the pelvic floor, all the way through the center of the body up to the crown of the head. And breathe back down from the crown of the head down to the pelvic floor. And how does that feel? Now the next time you travel up through that center line of energy, all the way up to the crown of the head, can you rest your awareness at the very top of the head, the crown of the head? And can you imagine the space above the crown of the head? So the air that is above your head right now. And then what is above the crown of your head right now? So you can use your imagination or your intuition and just feel through above the top of your head. And whatever that is, whatever that light or that space or that energy is that is over the top of your head, I'd like you to imagine, please, that there's a little bit of rain shower, almost like a little bright cloud over the crown of the head, and it opens up and it rains down on you. And this gentle shower, this little bit of rain or sprinkling down on you, you might call this grace or light or love. Whatever works for you, can you feel that just brushing over your skin, raining down on you? And with the residue of this rain still on you, this shower of grace, let's travel back down from the top of the head to the center of the brain, the center of the throat, center of the heart, center of the solar plexus, center of the belly, and back down to the pelvic floor, to how your bum and your thighs are dropped and spread heavy on whatever you're sitting on, grounded here in your body. And how does it feel to be in your body now? Bring your awareness back to your breath. And we're going to breathe up the spine from the pelvic floor. We inhale up the spine all the way to the top of the head. And when we breathe down the front of the body, past the space between the eyebrows, the front of the neck, front of the heart, all the way down the front of the belly, back to the pelvic floor. So this circular breath, we inhale up the back and down the front. In your own pace, we inhale up the back and then down the front. Take a few more breaths here where we breathe up the back and down the front. And then let go of all effort. Let go of all effort. And simply be. Now please bring your awareness back down to your pelvic floor, to your bum, to your legs, to your thighs. Notice if you're holding any tension in the body and allow the bones just to drop. And then tuck your chin down to the top of the chest. And start to slowly blink your eyes open so that the first thing you see is the floor in front of you. And then slowly look up. So I hope this meditation has served you. If you have any questions about what we've done today or anything you'd like to share, of course, you can always be in contact with Yogaground, and we love sharing. So we'd love to hear from you. And thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Nari Om Tat Sat. So if you're on Instagram Live and you actually have any questions right now, I'll just mention that was, my alarm went off. It was 12 minutes and about 30 seconds or so in meditation. And I'd love, if you're on live and you've got any comments or anything that you want to share, I'd be super curious. And Ferdinand can maybe read them out, because I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't see a thing. And of course, you can always leave comments on any of Yogaground's social media or my social media, and I'm always very happy to talk about yoga practice, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Well, guys, thank you so much. We'll be doing this again tomorrow at 5 o'clock Rotterdam time. For any of my friends who might be watching in the UK, that would be 4 o'clock in the UK. And yeah, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to sign off now.